Does celery juice cure everything? Hey, I'm Dr. Mike, and today we're looking at the truths about wellness trends. Today's topic is going to be celery juice. What is it? Where did it come from? And what exactly does it do? You may have heard that drinking celery juice every morning can help with everything from psoriasis and inflammation to high cholesterol and high blood pressure. But is there any science behind any of that? Let's dive into some specific facts about celery juice. You've probably heard people online or in person suggesting that you start every morning by drinking 16 ounces of fresh celery juice on an empty stomach. And we're not talking about adding celery to a juice or smoothie. This trend involves just straight celery in a blender, not mixing it with anything else, including other fruits and vegetables. You've probably heard of juicing, the trend of throwing a bunch of fruits and vegetables into a blender in hopes of getting a lot of nutrition in one drink. But the celery juice trend is very different. This trend involves just putting straight celery and nothing else in the blender until you get 16 ounces of essentially celery water. The celery juice trend started in fall 2018. Gwyneth Paltrow's lifestyle website Goop published an article on celery juice by Anthony Williams, aka the medical medium. Williams called celery juice, quote unquote, one of the greatest healing tonics of all time, and wrote a book on the topic. The trend quickly blew up on social media with influencers, celebrities, and regular people jumping on board. You know who didn't jump on board? Real doctors like myself. Some of the claims associated with celery juice include breaks down pathogens, bacteria, viruses, yeasts, fungi, and mold, increases your bile to improve your digestion, dissolves gallstones in the gallbladder. Man, what do we need medicine for if we got celery juice? People have even claimed that it heals eczema, psoriasis, acne, constipation, chronic fatigue syndrome, migraines, high blood pressure, addictions, allergies, autoimmune conditions. Some say it can even help with clearer skin, improved digestion, less bloating, sustained energy, better mental clarity. The real question is, does it even work and do the things it promises to? Now let's imagine you're at home and you're wondering, what should I know about celery juice? How much celery juice should I drink? What are the exact claims? The first thing you may do is turn to Google. While that's a good first step, what you should do is allow that to formulate questions so that when you go see your doctor, you can ask better questions. Here are the top related queries that pop up when you Google celery juice. I don't like the word detox. In fact, most doctors and scientists don't like the word detox because you have organs in your body to do the job for you. Most folks who lose weight from drinking celery juice are losing weight because they switched out an unhealthy drink beforehand, meaning that they were drinking a carb-heavy, sugary beverage, and now they've switched over to celery juice, which has less of that. As a result, they've lost some weight. I've never seen anywhere that it's been proven that celery juice directly causes weight loss. I'm sure this has something to do with the absorption factor of some of the nutrients. I feel that the benefits of celery juice would take effect regardless if you have an empty stomach or not. So if you'd like to drink your celery juice with a meal, that's not the end of the world. I'm not sure what side effects you'd have with celery juice, except maybe an upset stomach if you do it too much. Celery juice testimonials is probably an area you don't want to visit. Reason being is that anecdotal evidence is usually the weakest form of evidence. If you want to find out if this truly works, ask your doctor. According to Google Trends, this is a chart of celery juice searches in the last 2 years. We had a really big peak this year, and I think I know why. There's been some articles, some books written on the subject, and they've gotten people excited. There have been very few studies looking specifically at the health benefits of celery, let alone celery juice. Celery does contain certain chemicals that have been found to be beneficial for some diseases in small lab studies. Apigenin, which has been found to be anti-inflammatory and protective against cancers, and luteolin, which was found to have an anti-inflammatory effect that helped with allergies in a small number of mice. But in research, when we isolate specific micronutrients and we give them in very high concentrations to rodents or test them in lab settings, that doesn't necessarily translate to human successes because the amounts of these micronutrients are much smaller than the actual thing that we're consuming as humans. There is one human pilot study published in Natural Medicine Journal in 2013 in which 30 patients with mild to moderate hypertension took daily celery extract supplements, not juice, for 6 weeks. After that time, the researchers saw a statistically significant decrease in the participants' blood pressure. However, There was no control group, and the chief authors of the study were managing partners of the company that made the extract. There's nothing inherently bad about industry-funded research, but we do have to take those results with a grain of salt. Statistics have shown that when there's an industry-funded study, those tend to have more positive outcomes for whatever is being studied. It's really important to note that I'm not saying that celery is a bad vegetable by any means. In fact, it does contain good quality vitamins. Vitamin K, which helps with blood clotting, potassium, which contributes to healthy blood pressure and helps regulate all sorts of processes within the body. What I'm really pointing out here is the lack of scientific evidence behind some of these miracle cures. Celery juice is all good in my book. These are health trends that real people are trying and considering trying. So let's field some questions on the subject.
Hey, Dr. Mike. My question is, if I'm making celery juice for health benefits, how much celery do I need to use?
Well, you're going to need a lot of celery to make a single glass of celery juice, I'll tell you that. As far as your health goes, that's indeterminate, because if you just eat some celery, that's equally as healthy as having a glass of celery juice.
Hey, Dr. Mike. If I flavor my celery juice with peanut butter, does that negate the health benefits?
I don't think it necessarily negates health effects. It would really depend on what your goals are, but I wouldn't necessarily think that by adding a specific product to your juice, it's going to change it tremendously.
Hey, Dr. Mike, what are the nutrients in celery juice that are supposed to make me less tired?
There's a lot of nutrients in celery that are actually quite healthy for you, but as far as making you less tired, I think it's a claim that's not substantiated. I hope my answers were helpful, but remember, they're not a substitute for individual health advice. If you're curious about how celery juice affects your health, definitely speak with your doctor. Overall, celery juice is mostly water. And yes, drinking a lot of water in the morning is actually great for you. But unless you love the taste of celery water, you can probably just have regular water instead. The extreme health claims you're seeing all over Instagram have no scientific backing. You're really just better off eating whatever fruits and vegetables you really do enjoy. Don't get me wrong, celery juice can absolutely be part of a healthy lifestyle as long as it's not causing you to skip out on treatments that could be very beneficial for you, especially if your doctor recommended them. So enjoy that celery juice, but don't think it has any miracle properties. Tastes like grass, soil, some potassium, vitamin K, and celery goodness.